to serve.
Yes, grenades are good. Pretty damn good. I think I'm finally done with this fucking place. Fucking place. Well, they sure didn't take their chances.
I can't believe we just blew up KotOR's yacht. That's gonna destabilize crime throughout this whole sector.
Yeah, well, you'll understand if I hold back the tears.
You don't understand. Crime in the YouTube system, it's like the economy. Plus the power vacuum. Even if Voga gets up and running again, the system is gonna be feeling the effects for years to come.
Yeah, well, at least we didn't find that Jedi Master with the weird name.
Says Kyle? Well, that's not true. I already found him. Actually, he found me first. He hired me to watch out for you, keep KotOR off your back until he could meet with you. We'll need to head back to Shaddaa, to that safe house off the docks. I said I'd meet up with him there if we ran into any trouble. What do you want now?
That?
If you thought to escape by them so easily, you'd be wrong. As a token of my goodwill, I present to you a gift. This droid. It will serve you well on your journey.
How did you get on my ship?
I'm afraid I do not understand what you mean.
Okay, tell me more about the droid.
As I indicated, this unit will remain with you and guard you. It will also serve as an effective voice for my orders during your journey.
Gorgeous. How do I know you won't try to kill me?
I cannot harm you. You are the key to saving the Republic. Pray that you do not prove yourself otherwise.
Thanks for the droid, God. Let's get back to Shaddaa.
So, you have returned from exile. KotOR thought you might, if only to wander your old battlegrounds. But I did not think you would come to Shaddaa. Still, you were always a difficult one to read, both when you were tied to the Force, and even more when it was lost to you.
Why did KotOR think I would return from exile?
I do not know. It was a sense he had, and he had served in war, as you had. Perhaps he thought he understood you, or maybe he simply hoped he did. He felt you were the key to understanding the threat we face. The others were not so certain, but so many of them are gone now, as you no doubt know.
Why me?
He sensed some connection between you and many of the worlds touched by war. He thought by traveling to such places, he could achieve understanding.
I have questions I want answered.
No doubt. I think the answers will provide us both with some measure of peace. I have kept secrets for far too long.
Where are all the Jedi?
They have scattered, but there is purpose in their movements. It is both to hunt and draw out our enemies. Somehow, we, are being targeted through the Force, and when Jedi gather, we are vulnerable. So we have chosen places where it is difficult to sense others through the Force, whether on planets dense with life, or touched by war. In such places, we may conceal ourselves, gather information, without presenting ourselves as targets. It was part of KotOR's plan.
What is this plan?
Yes, he felt if our enemy cannot detect us, then perhaps they would believe themselves victorious and show themselves. And we knew that the war would be lost if we continued to act as we had. I do not know where they wander now. There are few of us, though. Too few. And I have not heard from them in some time.
Patrice is on Chilos, training clowns.
Atris, but I had thought she had gone to KotOR with the others.
You sound surprised.
Yes, she holds the last of the Jedi teachings. It is good she survived.
Why didn't you go to KotOR?
I had not finished my investigations here, and I did not wish to reveal myself. There was nothing I could do.
Other questions?
What I can tell you, I will.
What happened to the Jedi?
It is a long story, but there is no harm in you knowing. And someone should know. Only a handful of us remained after the Jedi Civil War, barely 100 in number. Then, even that 100 began to vanish, in places where the Force seemed blind. The only pattern we determined is that when Jedi gathered, they were seen no more. At the last Jedi conclave on the Miraluka world of KotOR, the entire planet was wiped out, an entire race destroyed, because the Jedi chose to gather there. It was only then that we realized we were facing something far more powerful than we knew how to fight.
Is that why you hid?
We could not allow the fact that when we gathered, we placed everything around us at risk. A Jedi's life is sacrifice, but we cannot allow our presence or actions to endanger others. And we cannot fight an enemy that will not reveal itself. But any Jedi, anyone who was strong in the Force, who attempted to track down such a threat, vanished without a trace.
But that makes no sense.
It does. but you must step back to see it. Whatever this threat was, it was targeting us and everything around us. Yet it was somehow weak enough that it was afraid to confront us openly. If it believed us defeated, then perhaps it would finally show itself. It was a faint hope, but it was the best we had. It was KotOR's plan. He was always the greatest tactician among us, and had seen war more than the rest of us.
Other questions?
Very well.
I need to know what got me out of the order.
We told you it was because you followed Revan to war, but you ask because you are not certain of that answer, nor were we. The day we cast you out, that is the moment I decided to leave the Order, because I do not believe we truly faced the reasons you were exiled, and if we do not examine such truths, then we are already lost. I think it was because we were afraid. It is a difficult thing to live one's life with the Force. To see a vision of what it would be like to be severed from it, it is more frightening than you know.
Questions?
Very well.
Why are you here?
I had thought perhaps that here upon the Smuggler's Moon, I might find some evidence of the threat we faced. The bounties on Jedi and their disappearance. I did not believe the two were connected, but there was a chance. And the strong currents of life here on Nar Shaddaa make perceiving a Force user difficult. I could use it to cloak my movements and watch without being discovered.
That is not the only reason you came here to hide.
No, you are right. That is not the whole truth. It is difficult to detect a Force user on Nar Shaddaa, and I knew it. This threat we face, it leaves wounds in the Force when it strikes. It leaves nothing.
And you were afraid.
To live life without the Force, to vanish and die and leave only an echo, it was terrifying. To be connected to all life around you, then to have it stripped, I can only imagine what it must have been like for you. But even that imagining cannot compare with the truth. But there is more than that. On Nar Shaddaa, one cannot escape what was left from the Jedi Civil War. From the failure of the Masters, from our failure to properly train Jedi, came disaster. And I wondered if perhaps the teachings of the Jedi had been our failing all along. There have been so many failures by teachers who believed in the code with all their being. Master Arca failed Ulic, as Master Boss failed Exar Kun, as Kay and Zar and the others of the Council failed Revan and Malak. For all the acts we do to preserve the galaxy, from such an arrogance that all we do is right and just, I wonder if there is a counter-effect that is created that strikes back at us. Exar Kun, Ulic Keldroma, Malak, Revan, you, all Jedi. There is something wrong in the Force, a wound, a sound that is growing, like a scream. You can hear it echo in Nar Shaddaa, sometimes when the moon is on orbit. It is a frightening thing to feel, that perhaps being connected to all life is not enlightenment at all, but simply another doom. And I think that maybe, perhaps, to forsake the Force as you did, to cut loose our bonds, may not be the wrong thing to do. You taught me something important in the Council Chamber long ago, Exile, and it has stayed with me all these years. You were right to do what you did. Everything you did.
Well, well, well. We have a combat. Other questions?
Very well.
Why did you cut me off from the Force?
Is that what you think? We did no such thing. But it is a technique that has been used as punishment in the past, yes. It is a rare sentence, and to my knowledge it has only been done once, at a moment where a Jedi discipline has failed. What caused your loss, I fear, was different. I am not certain I understand it. We did not understand it fully then.